Thanks for tuning into NDTV Auto, and this implies that you love cars. And if you do so and have half a crore rupee in your bank account to spend on a set of four wheels, I think this is what you need. Now this is the all new Skoda Octavia VRS in its 4th gen iteration. In fact, this is the only car in Skoda India's lineup that gets a Mamba green paint scheme. Now what all is special about it? Actually, there's a lot. I'll start off with the design first. So over to the front, you get a lot of piano black elements on the grille, on the lip spoiler, and also on these air inlets. Now these LED DRLs, they are done in a very striking pattern, and so is the case with the crystal LED headlamps. So over to the sides, you also get 19-inch alloy wheels. Crazy part, because this car is about performance, they are done in a slightly different theme. Now they are very much sharp, I would say. Diamond cut finish is what you're getting over here, but these come with these aero inlets, and if you take them off, these rims look really dope. But lot more piano black elements you're getting on the ORVM cap. Now this whole window surround is also done in piano black. Now all this with all other 5 paint schemes you're getting on the Octavia VRS, they make it look really neat, really sporty. Over to the rear section, Skoda has made sure that it certainly looks sportier than its last generation model. How? Well, thanks to this large lip spoiler and also this new all black rear diffuser, which also get dual tip exhaust. Now you must be thinking that this exhaust is done in a slightly squared off shape, but no, these are the dummy tips. The real exhaust is beneath them, and the sport exhaust package comes as standard on this car. And on the inside, this is actually very sporty in comparison to the standard Octavia. How? Let me explain. On the dashboard, you get Alcantara finish with contrast red stitching. The complete interior is done in a shade of black, and you have this 4 carbon fiber treatment over here. This large 13-inch touchscreen is what you get, and it is paired to a Canton sound system, which sounds impressive for sure, and you have a 10.25-inch virtual cockpit. Now this one also gets red accents for the more sportier appeal, and the steering wheel is done in leather. So it is perforated so that it doesn't get sweaty when you're driving in hot and humid conditions of India, and also gets contrast red stitching with this VRS badge. Now this is the sportier steering in the Skoda's lineup, and so is the case with these seats. Headrest is integrated in the seats, and you have this quilted pattern. So all of this makes the car really sporty, and also when we'll be driving on the BIC, I mean the track, I believe these will give me good support in terms of lateral movements, and also while we're going fast on corners. Talking of other features, you do not get a sunroof over here, because what you're getting instead is a set of 10 airbags, 360-degree parking camera, and a couple of drive modes. Along with that, you also get powered seats and automatic LED headlights, rain sensing wipers, this auto dimming IRVM, and lot more features. Since this car is designed keeping in mind the performance, I think sunroof is something you can let go of. Talking of space, there's a lot of it on the front row, and similar is the case with the second row as well. So on the rear seat, I tell you, this seat is set to somebody who's 5'10", while I'm 5 feet 6 inches, so there's enough amount of headroom for me. I think somebody taller than me might scrub their head with the liner. In terms of leg room and knee room, there's not much I can complain about, because I have ample amount of it for me. Now one big question over here is, can it seat 3? And the answer is no. You do have a dedicated third headrest and also 3-point seat belt for the middle row occupant. Now there's a cubby hole that intrudes into the middle row occupant's legroom space, but Skoda has taken care of climate control, because it gets a 3-zone climate control unit, so rear occupants, they can have their own temperature and fan settings. And Skoda, being clever, they also have these nice phone pockets over here. You get 2 Type-C ports and a lot of other stuff to keep your knickknacks and bottles and things. Now I have to say one thing, that in comparison to its key rival, that being Volkswagen Golf GTI, considering that Golf GTI is a smaller car, I think this one, for the price it comes at, has more practicality and more space, therefore turning out to be a more versatile option. In fact, the boot on this one is really large in comparison to the Golf GTI. But how good is this one in terms of driving? Let's get on to that. So the helmet is strapped and I am inside the 4th generation of Skoda Octavia VRS. Now this car has a strong legacy, and that's why we are driving it here at the Buddha International Circuit, the home ground for Formula 1 in the Indian country, and only to find out if the VRS has progressed just like how the motorsport community in the India has, or not. So the Octavia VRS, it manages to retain its legacy, its charm, and the strong cult that it enjoys among enthusiasts. Now this one does come with more tech in comparison to the last generation. इस बार आपको एक इलेक्ट्रॉनिक लिमिटेड स्लिप डिफरेंशियल मिल जाता है. एडाप्टिव सस्पेंशन जो इंटरनेशनल स्पेक मॉडल्स में देखने को मिलता था, वो यहाँ नहीं दिया गया है. बट आई डोंट थिंक इट नीड्स ऑल ऑफ दैट in the market like us. If it would have been here, it would have been the icing on the cake. More tech, more performance oriented stuff is never a deal breaker, I would say. But overall chassis dynamics, they are really great. The car is forgiving in nature. I have tried to be as noob as I can be with this one, and it has managed to forgive me all of my mistakes. And a big credit also goes to that ELSD, which is sitting at the front axle. After having driven almost all sorts of cars at the BIC, I mean the all-wheel drives, even the rear-wheel drive ones, this one particularly is a front-wheel drive car with almost 260 horses and 370 Newton meters at the tap. Quite fun, I would say. The chassis is really great, and so is the response from the steering. We have seen a lot of torque steers in the earlier Octavias, I mean the VRS especially, but this one is well calibrated, and even on the 19-inch rims when we ran out of the tarmac to the curbs, it was, I would say, quite stable. So for Indian road conditions, I think this can be your single garage car. So summing it up, I think the Octavia VRS makes more sense than any of its key rivals. Now why I have to say this? We have the Golf GTI, which was priced slightly higher than the Octavia VRS, which could be because of the older GST rules. But this one at just rupees 50 lakh is more car than Golf GTI. Not surely in terms of performance, because both of them are similar, but in terms of overall practicality and in terms of overall space it offers. The tech, of course, I found this one to be really more engaging, and also because of its sheer size, it has the road presence of a performance saloon. Now should you compare it with the likes of the BMW's M340i? Ideally you should not, because that's a different car altogether. Now this one will go against the likes of 2 Series Grand Coupe and also the Mercedes A-Class saloon. But does it manage to win over those cars? And my answer is yes, because this has the kind of luxury that you want at that price, along with performance and exclusivity factor, because only 100 units of these cars are coming to India. All of them are sold out. Mr. Ashish Gupta, brand director, has said there could be more units, but still there remains an uncertainty. And on that note, make sure you have subscribed to our YouTube channel and like this video if you like the Skoda Octavia VRS, and share it with your friends who are in the subject of great cars. On that note, bye-bye.